Hey, this is Josiah, aka Ezzir from Roll to Hit. We want to thank everyone for listening and the great feedback and comments that we get from you. We've come a really long way since the first episode. For example, we no longer eat chips while playing, nom 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 nom. And we've invested in new equipment and software, so hopefully you've noticed a boost in the quality. We're having a lot of fun making the show for you all, and if you get value out of the show, we ask that you think about giving a little value back. One way you can do that is by going to our new Patreon at patreon.com/rolltohit. We're trying this as an experiment, and we appreciate whatever you can afford to give. If you'd rather have something you can touch and smell in exchange for your support, check out our store at shop.spreadshirt.com/thecommentist. You can get a t-shirt or a coffee mug with our newly designed podcast logo on it. And of course, if you can't afford to give a single copper piece, we totally understand. Everyone can help out by rating us on iTunes or sharing the podcast with your friends and network. Thanks a lot for your consideration, and now the show.
Welcome back to Roll to Hit. We've been We've been on a brief hiatus, and now we're ready to start Chapter 2 of our adventure. Last time we ended with our adventurers defeating the reanimated corpse of Karth, and they were expecting to find some sick loot, but they instead got a ring that just shoots rainbows and nothing else. And that's how I decided to end that chapter of the story.
Correction. Apparently they found some sunglasses too. And wow.
That's right. That's another. Even though the rainbow ring is definitely the most important part of that last episode, another important element was that Alfred, sick of Ezzir's antics,
alleged antics,
fled the company, and so he is now gone, and they've been instead joined by the witty, the wonderful, the beautiful Sherlock Gnomes. and yeah, so that was ending chapter 1 of Roll to Hit, and we have one big change to go through, moving on to chapter 2, and that is that I, Paul, your wonderful and trusted DM, will be stepping down from my DM position, and we'll be playing the role of Sherlock Gnomes, and instead we will have the wonderful, you know him, you love him, maybe you don't know him by name, but his name is David, and he was playing Alfred the Weird. He will be taking over the role as Dungeon Master for this second chapter. So let's all give David a nice warm welcome.
Yeah, David. Notice Paul left out trustworthy in the list of attributes. We don't know what's going to happen.
Trust is earned, not given.
So before David takes over as the Dungeon Master and leads us on the beginning of this new wonderful quest, let's just go around again. If you're joining us for the first time, this would be a good point to start again. We're going to go around and reintroduce all of our characters. I guess we'll go pretty quickly so we can get started. But yeah, let's start. Let's start with Talon.
All right, Talon, son of Robius. He is a sorcerer level 3, monk level 1, half elf. What else do you want me to say? I like fireballs. Shoot them.
And chaos magic.
Chaos, yep. Yeah.
Recently increased in age, I believe.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I have wild magic that has some good effects, like the flumps that we had in Season 1. I also went from age 19 to 29 in an instant.
He's at the point where he definitely should have a job, and he shouldn't just be around.
And I got a new weapon at the end, which I haven't yet used, which is the Assassin's Blade of Korth. It poisons me while I use it, but basically I get to throw it, and then it just magically appears back in my hand. It does 1d4, and then a chance for some serious poison damage as well.
Cool. And you can cast Misty Step.
Yes, which I have yet to figure out what it actually does.
And invisibility.
It's a little Pokemon crossover.
Once a day.
Yeah.
Misty comes out. Step.
Start you.
So I'm Thaddeus, the paladin. I'm a level 4 paladin. I'm a half-orc urchin. Odd combination, but whatever. And basically, I'm supposed to be the tank character, even though somehow last game Alfred had the same HP as me. But I'm basically the tank. I come in and mow people down. I've got a giant two-handed sword, and
That's not what I thought you were gonna say.
well,
That's
yeah.
for the after hours show.
And that sword was both the sword and the dagger were both loot from the first adventure.
Yep, and I actually have to use special gauntlets to wield them because it's so massive. So yeah, I like to destroy things with my massive sword.
You're also very greedy, if I remember. You like it all.
Well, I am greedy, and it also works out because everybody else apparently hates money. So
It's true. It's very
ends up
true.
being something that I use a lot.
All right, I am Sherlock Gnomes. That's the voice that I've chosen for him. I had a different voice last campaign, but that was like 2 months ago, so I forgot that voice. So
Why aren't you still talking in that voice?
Why don't you always talk in that voice?
Also, I'd like
What do
to
you
bring
think
up.
RPG stands for? Okay.
I feel like everyone should have voices. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I think Ezzir. I was thinking about this. I think Ezzir should sound like Batman in The Dark Knight. And I don't know what everyone else sounds
I'm
like.
half orc, so scrollable.
So, anyways, Sherlock Gnomes. He is a rogue. He's a rogue forest gnome. He's lawful good. I guess I'll go into slightly more detail with him because this is the first time we're looking at his character sheet. He has very low hit points and armor class. His armor class is 14, and he only has 18 hit points. But luckily,
Glass cannon.
he kind of stays in the back of the fights. He has 2 hand crossbows, which he can wield because he has the crossbow expert feat. So he can shoot both of those each turn, and I wanted to kind of give him that like 1950s private eye feel, like dual wielding pistols. Pew, pew, pew. So that's Sherlock Gnomes. That doesn't have to do with Sherlock Holmes at all, but I don't know. He's surprisingly not that good of a detective, which we learned from the last episode. But he does have pretty good investigation, so in his rare moments, he'll be able to investigate things. He likes to talk about himself a lot and exaggerate the truth. He is lawful good. He likes to bring criminals to justice. And his bond is that one day he will return to the detectives of varying expertise in Skandrone, also known as Doves, and prove that he is the best detective. And a side note, he also believes that he's a part of this detectives of varying expertise in Skandrone, but he's actually not. He just thinks he is, and everyone really hates him there. He's cocky and full of himself, and he likes to, once he's in battle, he likes to shoot things with his crossbow. Just quickly again, he has sneak attack, speak with small beasts, and he's pretty dexterous, and he can use thieves' tools. So that's Sherlock Gnomes.
All right, this is Ezzir Dohillen. I am a monk, level 4 monk, also drow. So they came to be that I'm living on the surface world and chaotic good, not lawful good. So I can kill people from time to time if they
I don't
do
know why you're
something
looking at me.
egregiously evil. So yeah, chaotic good monk, and most drow are obviously evil and live underground. But as a third son, I was meant to be sacrificed to the spider goddess, and my sister helped smuggle me out of the Underdark, and I was raised by monks. So Talon and I grew up in the same monastery, and until he got 10 years older, I was supposedly his older partner in crime.
Interesting.
At the monastery.
The swirlies will change.
I took the elemental focus when we got to level 2 or 3, whatever it was, so I do have some fire type spells that come from the studying at the monastery of the Golden Dragon.
His fortune cookie said.
The best Chinese restaurant in town.
Cool. Very nice. So that's a brief overview. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. Again, this was a good place to start if you didn't want to go through the first chapter. So yeah, David, are you ready? Adventurers, are you ready?
It's been 3 months since it's been 3 months since the events of Melvis, Sidious, the Shadow, and Korth's relics. Your heroism, bravery, and valor has echoed throughout the city of Skandrone as the townsfolk have surmised you a legend. As such, you've taken upon yourselves to settle down and use this newfound prestige to rest and recuperate your scars and sanity. The city of Skandrone has thrived since you displaced King Turtlebottom. A working democracy is in order, with an elected mayor who has brought Skandrone into a remarkable renaissance age, due in no small part to the fantastic wealth they've been generating from the mining operation just outside the city walls. The revenue has been shared back with the citizens, and Skandrone's schools, libraries, and parks have witnessed a resurgence in quality. Ezzir, you've taken up residency at the Golden Dragon Monastery and become somewhat of the manager there, providing weekly night classes to the community on the physical, mental, and spiritual disciplines of the Way of the Four Elements. At night, you send letters to Tazendor, anxiously checking on Tarshan's rehabilitation and cautiously waiting to inquire about seeing your family again. Talon, although your spontaneous aging did gain you 10 years, you are still the junior to 34-year-old Ezzir. That doesn't mean you're not an important part of the Golden Dragon. In fact, you've become their community outreach coordinator and started a fantastic youth program where you teach football. Football, of course, being the Forgotten Realms word for baseball. Your quarterstaff proficiency has given the children many hours of delight and ground ball practice. Thaddeus, your intimidating size, low intelligence, and love of gold has made you a perfect candidate to head up security at the First Regional Bank of Skandrone. You even used to take your lunch breaks in the vault just to admire the view, until one day you accidentally locked yourself in. Sherlock, however, your heroism, bravery, and valor has not seemed to echo as loudly as the others. You can't quite put your finger on why, but all your friends at Dove seem to think you're exaggerating your story of dual-wielding crossbow shots at an undead wizard and his unholy armored conjure skeletons. Although the other team vouches that you were indeed there, you still feel that those around you in Skandrone just chalk this up to another one of your stories. Regardless, for the time being, everything just feels right, and you adventurers are enjoying the mending pace. Roll for initiative.
The end. Ooh, I'm so excited. I got a 3. No, +5. I got 8.
That's probably for the best. Just
Yeah.
stay behind. 18.
7.
All right. You'll always remember exactly where you were when it happened, like a flashbulb memory popping off. Talon, you're in your front office outside the park, fiddling with today's lineup. Sherlock, you're currently being escorted out of the Doves building after shooting a crossbow bolt, extinguishing a flame to prove how much of a sharpshooter you are. Thaddeus, you're at the bank, assisting the moneylender in the exchange of gold bars for platinum. And Ezzir, you're in your quarters on the basement floor of the monastery, sketching images of your past adventure. You all feel it before you hear it. The ground and its earthly contents shift as if coming to a screeching abrupt halt on a carriage. The citizens share a silent, shocked second before the deafening boom cacophenously erupts from seemingly all corners of the land. Ready Player One. So, in case you missed it, none of you are near each other, and you'll have no way of knowing where the others are during this mayhem, but I'm going to let you all move and act in order.
So I'm in the monastery. So I have all my equipment.
Yeah.
So the first thing I'm going to do is strip naked and tuck.
And go through a sick montage of putting on your...
No, I guess if I'm in the basement, do the stairs look affected?
No.
But okay.
Everything's fine. It's just really weird, and the boom is obviously somewhat concerning.
All right, I'm going to climb the stairs and call for my faithful companion, Talon.
All right. You throw in your robe and grumble as the direct sunlight will surely be disadvantageous to your action.
If only he had sunglasses.
Far, far out in the distance, on the other side of town, outside the city walls, and barely visible to you as you squint in the sunlight, is a puff of smoke. You shout for your brother Talon, but there's no one there.
Oh.
Thaddeus.
Oh.
You're at,
Good.
you're at the bank assisting the moneylender in exchange of gold bars for platinum.
He grabs all the bars and runs.
I'm out of here. First, I make sure the gold is okay. And was it just a sound, or did it shook too? Like
it did shake.
So I look towards where the sound came from. I mean, I guess it just came from the ground. So
it was
it
was
like,
outside.
Point?
So
okay.
Folks in the bank are cautious to go outside because nobody wants to lose their place in line, and the rumble has knocked over the money lender's weights and coins as he begins swearing up a storm that is to start all over again.
Well, I help him pick up whatever coins I can, and then I exit the building.
All right, the moneylender shouts at you because his conversion is invalid without an administrator present. So does that change your decision?
I unsheath my sword slightly, and then I put it back.
He grumbles and goes back picking up the coins himself. It must have been quite a quake because the vault is supposed to be blast-proof. Sherlock.
So I just was kicked out of the...
Yeah.
I turn around and shout, "This is what you get for kicking out Sherlock Gnomes!" And then I take out my magnifying glass and point it in the sky and do an investigation check on the sky.
All right.
The sun sears your eyeball.
Yeah. Pointing up at the direct sunlight is a bad idea as the convex... the glass of the magnifying glass manages to burn a hole in your favorite Sunday outfit.
No! my jacket.
All right, last but not least, Talon. You can see from your window the crowds of people slowly exiting their homes and looking 200 feet off in the distance.
I guess I'll leave the building then.
All right, you exit your clubhouse to see smoke rising from the distance, silhouetted by the king's old castle. So, as of now, you've noticed the town is starting to exit their homes and crowd the streets, making it tougher to run. And the tremor has caused varying damage, but nothing too atrocious. Everyone seems to be fixated on the puff of smoke. Now, back to Ezzir. So, Ezzir, you are outside your home, outside the monastery.
So Talon was not in the monastery?
No, he's at his clubhouse at the park. But you don't know any of this.
Always shirking your duties at the monastery. I'm
the community outreach coordinator, man.
I guess I start. So can I? Would I know that he is? It's whatever day of the week, and he's probably playing football, baseball.
You could try to find him. He's across the bridge and about 100 feet due east after you cross the bridge.
I'm gonna head in that general direction. Is it away from the smoke?
Nope, it is towards the smoke.
I'm going towards the smoke in an attempt to collect Talon at the park.
All right. You move. All right. While crossing the bridge, you actually notice some shoes and a fishing net on the ground. Peering over the bridge, you see the unmistakable outline of a person flailing. Yeah, spawn of the gods! I was out fishing and the earthquake knocked me in here. I can't swim. Help! He's about 40 feet out in the water.
40 feet? I'm pretty sure I can swim. I will jump in and swim.
All right, you're going to jump straight in. So Ezzir hops over the bridge and swan dives into the water to try to save the drowning victim. We'll cut to Thaddeus, who's just exited the bank. You see a crowd gathered around something. There's a lot of commotion and grunting going on. You there, gargantuan, come help! A bronze-colored elf currently lies on top of a pair of pants and shoes. Upon further inspection, it appears that the town statue of Fenthic Moss, a famous elven cleric, has toppled over on some poor schlub who is stuck.
Me help you now. I go and try and push the statue over to roll it off the man.
Do a strength check.
I think I get +5.
Too bad I'm not here to help out with that. With my -1 strength.
Let's see. 17?
17. Oh, it just barely budges, but it's going to take a bit more community effort to get that to move.
Too bad there's no community organizer there.
So, while you push and pull on the statue, we will run over to Sherlock. While hauling ass the source of the smoke, you can't help but notice a nest has fallen out of the tree and onto the sidewalk.
Do I know what kind of nest this is?
You can do a nature check.
I would love to do a nature check. 15.
Ooh, these appear to be hawk eggs.
Do I see the hawks anywhere?
Run a perception check.
He's going to take the eggs and raise them.
Actually, in this game, he's not vegan, so
11.
Pizza makes an omelet.
You do see a hawk circling the air, and based on your previous nature roll, it seems to be flying very erratically.
Is there like a tree nearby?
Yeah, there's a tree.
I'm going to very quickly, because I want to keep running towards the smoke. I'm going to pick up the nest and try to throw it back on the tree.
Okay, you pick up the eggs to throw the tree.
Oh, wait, there are eggs in this nest?
Yes. Oh, sorry, did not say that. Yes, they're eggs in the nest. I'm very sorry. That's what I meant by. That's what I meant by these appear to be hawk eggs.
Oh yeah. How high is the tree?
too late. You're throwing this.
The tree is, we'll say, 20 feet up in the air is the nearest branch you can find. And based on your knowledge of hawks, they don't typically take the lowest branch when building a nest.
If only we had a levitate spell that we could put.
I'm gonna try to climb up the tree.
Okay.
Really quick.
So you with the eggs,
Yes, holding the nest.
you pick up the nest and try to move it safely, but almost immediately the territorial hawk mother descends from the air with her claws out. Go ahead and run an animal handling check.
Keep in mind, I can speak to small beasts.
Dave wants to use every single check in the first 10 minutes of this.
19.
Ooh, the hawk understands your actions are not hostile.
You're just
and
throwing their kids.
will not defend itself, and you can climb the tree successfully.
Okay. I also have second story work, which means it takes no extra movement to climb.
Nice. So while you are climbing up the tree, trying to help this poor hawk, who was behaving erratically, we will go to Slowpoke Talon.
Slowpoke? Why?
You rolled last.
That's your
initiative.
football. That's your football.
Yeah.
Slowpoke Talon. All right, well, I'm heading towards the smoke.
All right, you head to the smoke. Here, hey, up, Baldy, up here. A voice from up top draws your attention. On top of a townhouse is a man waving his arms frantically. Yes, you! I was up here fixing up the roof and the quake knocked over my ladder. You look down to see a crude wooden ladder cracked in several places. Help me down! He's about 15 feet in the air.
What do you want me to do?
I don't know, use a rope, fix the ladder, just get me out from here.
Do I have a rope?
I don't know. Because your inventory, I don't have it.
Let me go to the store real quick.
Can I fix the ladder?
Yeah, you can try to fix the ladder. Run an intelligence check.
Oh, God.
Unless you have some craftsmanship skill, which I don't think you do.
2?
I could probably fix it with fire.
You take the ladder and try some percussive maintenance, which is when you hit it. But it doesn't seem to be doing anything. While Talon bangs on a ladder, that's a euphemism in some parts. We will go all the way back to Ezzir, who's currently in the water, trying to swim towards the drowning victim, who is 40 feet away.
So 40 feet, swim at half speed. I'm going to swim
All right.
towards him.
You are swimming, and swimming successfully without floaties.
Yes.
Good job. As you swim, Thaddeus, you are still trying to move that statue. Why don't you try again with a strength roll?
I shall. And I will yell at everybody, help me! Jeez, you jerks. 19, so 24.
You dig deep, grit your teeth, take a few breaths, and let out a stream of grunts. Seconds go by until you're entirely out of breath, but the moment you hit exasperation, you feel the statue start to give. In a state of shocked awe, those helping you begin to realize they aren't helping you at all. As they, one by one, they step away from the statue as you deadlift the figure and toss it behind you. Fenthic's head cracks clean off, but the man is freed. He lies there on the ground, motionless.
I check for a pulse.
All right.
See if he's alive.
While you're over there examining the body, we will go to hawk saving Sherlock.
What is the hawk doing right now?
It is currently perched on the branch, watching you climb and eyeing its eggs.
Can I say to it, can I try to communicate with it?
You can try to communicate with the small beast.
I'm going to say, have no fear, Sherlock is here.
No, you gotta do it in a hawk voice. So just make bird noises.
Ah!
A Pokemon hawk, apparently. Hawk, hawk, hawk.
And they can't talk back to you, right? I don't think they can. I mean, speak with animals doesn't, but this is not actually a spell, it's a characteristic.
It's a gnome thing, right?
Yeah.
It's a gnome thing.
Hashtag just gnome thing.
Yeah.
Through sounds and gestures, you can communicate simple ideas with small or smaller beasts. Forest gnomes love animals and often keep squirrels, badgers, rabbits, moles, woodpeckers, and other creatures as beloved pets. So I'm just going to communicate to it that I'm not going to harm its babies.
All right. It is hopping rapidly on the branch, watching you do something, and kind of twitching its neck, again, in an erratic fashion. So as you continue up the tree, Talon, you realize that hitting the ladder is not fixing it. God, hurry up! I'm scared of heights.
It's 2 stories up.
Yeah.
Is there anything around that I could use like as a rope or some other way to like get up there?
Now there is some hay. There's bales of hay and a broken ladder.
Set them on fire.
All right.
No helping.
Oh,
Here's the plan.
Start over.
So I want to cast chromatic orb at a piece of the ceiling so that I could bust it open, essentially.
Okay.
But I don't think it'll set it on fire because Firebolt specifically says a flammable object will ignite. So I want to tell him to like
The guy's
move
scared.
over. Here you go, and then target. So I can make a hole in the top so he can get down.
Okay.
But I also want to use careful spell and put it on him just to protect him, just in case. It
Oh,
goes
nice.
awry.
Okay. Which means he automatically succeeds a saving
As a
throw.
saving
Is it that
throw.
one?
Yeah. I don't think that'll do anything.
Though does your spell still do damage though? Is it one of those things where it does damage even on a successful throw?
Not this one.
Okay.
It only if it hits, it takes damage. There's no on a save.
Yeah, because the roof also has very low dexterity.
So do I still have to shoot at it? Like I
Yeah,
still
you're gonna
hit,
have to aim. The aiming is the good part. You should probably also tell the guy to get out of the way as you do this.
Well, yeah. So I
Okay.
told him to move to the other side. And
the other side of what? The roof?
Just move over. Just move to one side.
You have to help me.
I'm helping. I will get you down. Just trust me. 24.
All right. A mighty bolt shoots from your arms and descends on the roof, crashing it. The guy is so shocked he begins to backpedal away.
No, do it.
And we smash cut back to Ezzir swimming.
All right. Have I reached the guy?
At the end of your turn, you will finally have reached the person, which is the end of your movement.
Okay.
You swam 20 feet. Now you swam 20 more. You were at the bobbing, drowning victim.
Okay, so I go back to my monastic lifeguard training and slip an arm around his under his armpit and his head and use my other free arm and legs to kick towards the. I'm gonna have to be a jerk here and swim towards the shore that I was moving towards. So
Yeah.
it'll be away from his shoes and fishing pole.
All right, run an acrobatics check to try to corral the flailing, drowning victim.
19.
Oh yeah, you grab him, and you can begin to swim to shore with an athletics check this time.
So as I swim towards the shore, I want to try to calm him and just say, "Hey, work with me. We're gonna kick towards the shore." So just try to have him not fight me.
Where are my shoes? I was just trying to fall on the ground.
Your shoes look great, man. We're gonna get your shoes. Just
right.
hang in there with me.
Athletics what?
Athletics, I got 11.
Okay. It's very tough to swim as he's still really panicking about his shoes. You don't quite know why a guy can't swim while fishing on a very unsafe bridge.
Yeah, I was thinking the same, but
you can reprimand him later, because now we're going to Thaddeus, who has just removed a statue and is checking the pulse of the being on the ground. Run a medicine check.
Medicine, I'm proficient.
Should have one of those like, where they change scenes like this. It goes like changes to the other one.
That's what's on my head.
14.
Oh, 14. You can't tell quite what's wrong with him, but you think you're starting to figure it out by basic vital signs and rubbing your hands over his cracked body. So while you check on him, we're going to go back to Sherlock, who was trying to climb a tree with a handful of eggs and talk to a hawk.
All right, I'm going to. I'm assuming I'm pretty good at climbing.
Yeah.
So there's like stuff that I have handholds on. I'm going to put the nest on my head. I'm going to balance it on my head. I'm going to hold on with one hand onto the tree, and then I'm going to take out my magnifying glass and look at the bird to see if I can figure out if there's something up with it.
All right, run an investigative check.
Yeah. 22.
All right, that's going to give you advantage on a nature check.
Oh. Oh,
wow.
Natural 20, so that's another 22.
Okay. You recognize the hawk's erratic behavior as a evolutionary defense mechanism when an animal senses stress. So while you're peering at this hawk with your giant eye, we will go back to Talon, who has just knocked a giant hole in the roof. As the man begins to backpedal, he slips
So I'm running towards it and trying to catch
begins
him.
to fall. He goes, "Oh, you gotta catch me!"
So I dive and try to catch it.
All right, you're gonna dive. All right, so do what should you do here?
Use your football skills and do a diving catch.
Yeah, do an acrobatics
bicycle
check
kick,
to try to
whatever.
catch him.
Acrobatics.
Yeah.
14.
All right, you slide on the ground with your arms out and do a strength saving throw.
Oh shit. 17.
All right, you do not take any bludgeoning damage as your body is perfectly doughy, and you both fall prone as the man falls on top of you. And this is good news. He does seem fine. Thanks, Chrome Dome. As he skips off back inside his home, presumably to fix the roof that you just destroyed.
You might want a better ladder.
So, back at the top, Ezzir, you are trying to corral a very panicky man swimming in the water.
Yeah, I'll keep trying to calm him and say, hey, buddy, I'm just trying to help you out. Kick your legs when I kick my legs. I like count cadence or whatever.
So
on two, on
another-
one, on two, on one.
Run another athletics check to try to swim while holding on to someone.
Ooh, a 4.
All right,
gonna
you
drown.
still don't move. I should point out that a creature can hold its breath for a number of minutes equal to 1 plus its Constitution modifier. So I think that's 3 minutes or something for you.
Yep.
So as you still thrash around, we'll go to Thaddeus, who is still examining the body. Why don't you try the medicine check again?
I also yell out, "Are there any doctors nearby?" I meant 7.
You think he's absolutely fine.
And I crush his neck while trying to take it.
So he seems to be fine, but he is kind of, screaming, not really screaming, but moaning and rocking back and forth.
But is he conscious? You said he's unconscious.
He's barely conscious. He's not completely knocked out, but he's not really moving. He's just moaning.
I smack him a little bit.
Okay.
Lightly with my giant hands.
With your gauntleted hands.
Yeah, that's true.
That gives you what, +5 strength or something like that?
All right, you're smacking around a victim on the ground, and while you smack to someone, we're gonna go to Sherlock, who is just looking at the frazzled hawk.
Can I reach the... Wait, do I know which branch the nest was on?
No, but you are currently in the thick of the tree. That this would be a perfectly safe place to leave the eggs at this point.
Okay, I'm gonna just put down the eggs on a branch and start scurrying my way down.
Okay, you put the eggs back on the branch. The hawk jumps on the nest and begins destroying the eggs.
No!
Wow.
Do I have another action? Oh, actually, crossbow expert. As a bonus action, I'm gonna shoot it with the crossbow.
All right, take a shot at it.
I rolled an 18.
Yes, that is enough to pierce the hawk's non-armor.
And I deal 5 damage.
Yeah, that is the hawk beautifully descends out of the sky back onto the ground, hitting a couple of branches as it plinkos its way back to the ground. In its terror, it has smashed one of the 5 eggs.
No.
So there are 4.
Sherlock Gnomes yells, "No!"
As you're shouting to the sky, no! The camera cranes out as it moves over back to Talon, who is on the ground.
So I'm gonna get up and start going towards the smoke.
All right, that's your action, is to get up from the idiot who just crushed you.
And then just ran away and, whatever.
Yeah. So Ezzir, you are still trying to swim with a man in your clutches to the shore.
Yeah, I implore him. I try to. Is there a convincing skill to not kill yourself. Yeah, I do. Can I do a persuasion?
Yep.
Try to persuade him to calm down and kick with me. 14.
Yeah, what do you say to him in a soothing voice?
Say, hey man, how's it going? I'm trying to save your life. How about you help yourself and help me help you? We're gonna kick on the count of 1.
It appears to have worked as he has slowed down his thrashing, no longer appears to be fighting you.
He's a little
and
turned
his,
on.
And his, in fact, his body has gone completely limp at this point, kind of like a rag doll. You may have done too good of a job. Or he might be drowned. We'll find out after Thaddeus stops smacking the man around. Another man runs to the person and says, "What are you doing? Don't hit a statue victim."
Okay. I say, me help you now, and I lay my hands on him, and I do 5 healing points, which if he has a disease or something, that'll heal that. Otherwise, it's just HP.
He's got statue disease.
Yeah, he was allergic to bronze. So, you're no doctor, but you recognize the sound of crushed ribs resetting themselves. He gets up, breaks himself off, and goes, "Oh God, last I remember I was being attacked by some elf.
Elf? What'd he look like?
I don't know, bronze? Oh, there he is! Oh, good. You've destroyed him." As he brushes himself off and goes on his merry way. So, Sherlock, cuts back to you. Oh! As you finish screaming.
For that whole
Yes.
3 minutes that all that other stuff happened.
No, it's only 6 seconds, right?
That's true.
Still a long time.
I'm going to take the nest.
Okay, you take it and put it just somewhere, the usual
In my
weird stuff.
burglar,
Yeah.
burglar
You
pack.
take the nest and you gently put it in your burglar thing. And
Although,
you can,
if I climbed up with one hand, I could probably climb down with one hand.
yeah. Regardless, you now have the eggs nestled in some part of your body.
I'll add that to my inventory.
Yes. Please do. All right, so Talon, you're still just running towards the smoke?
Yep.
All right, so Talon's running. Ezzir, you now have a lifeless body in your hands. It's actually helpful. It means you will no longer need to do any sort of grappling thing. You just have to swim to shore.
Yeah, so let's swim to shore.
So go for it.
Roll
Athletics.
Natural 20.
Yeah.
All right. There is no such thing as a
Minus
natural,
1.
There's no such thing as a natural 20 in ability scores.
Okay.
Please do not make the same mistake again.
Okay. I mean, psych, that's the wrong number. 19.
All right. His limp body makes it very easy to swim to shore as you doggy paddle your way successfully back to the shore and lay his limp body on the ground. The drowner appears to be motionless.
Can I do I still have action?
Yeah, you can go ahead and do.
Can I do like a medicine
Yep.
check?
Go ahead and run a medicine check.
15.
All right. You perform some mouth to mouth, and he coughs up water. He seems that he's gonna make it alive and well. So good job.
Now I tell him you should probably learn how to swim if you're going to keep fishing here.
He says he tries to, but they closed the community pool because the community outreach coordinator was too busy playing baseball.
Football.
No, he's from the American part. Thaddeus, you are actually all set because the man seems to be breathing and has walked along. So if you'd like, you can continue going to the explosion, or you can go back in the bank, whatever you want.
I will go towards the explosion.
All right, you are running towards the explosion on the south side of town. So it is 120 diagonal feet away, but obviously there's not a diagonal road straight to it. But I'll just send you down south towards it.
That's why you got to run on the rooftops.
Yeah.
Parkour.
Oh, actually, wait a minute. Since
That's right,
I'm an urchin,
you're an urchin,
can I
right?
run it twice as fast?
Through urban
the city?
environments,
I
yeah.
believe so. This was the thing that I forgot to tell you guys when we were going through the city. I think it was Skandrone, and when we were trying to skulk around.
Yeah,
I
it's
should have
into
known
the
that.
mouse or whatever.
Yeah,
that
and
is.
the mouse, yeah.
It's
Oh yeah, and the mouse.
It's
Yeah.
you and your companions, I think, right?
Yeah, I think everybody.
So
Can
30
move twice
becomes-
as fast.
Wow.
Your party can travel through a city twice as fast
We're
when not in
together
combat.
anyway.
Right.
Yeah, but just next
Yeah.
time.
So you move once and twice. All right. So Ezzir has successfully revived the drowning victim. Sherlock
Yes.
has successfully gotten down with the eggs in his pocket or something.
Cool.
Talon is on his way running, and Thaddeus is now also on his way running. So, good job. You've fixed the first of the, minor inconveniences caused by this weird quake. The town folks' initial fear is turning into cautious curiosity of what they just felt. Some people around you are bracing for the aftershock, not sure if the explosion came first or the quake. Others are undecided on whether they should be moving towards or away the explosion. And some seem to have just gone back to their daily routine. As you yourselves ponder your options, some inconsiderate person behind you begins snapping twigs or... No, that can't be right. There's no branches around here, except for Sherlock. Everyone roll an acrobatics check.
Hey, this is Paul from Roll to Hit, also known as Sherlock Gnomes, also known as your former dungeon master. We're just taking a quick break so I can tell you about the Commentist Network. That's the podcast network that Roll to Hit is a part of. You can check out a lot of other great podcasts at thecommentist.com. You can also find us on iTunes and Stitcher. You can find all of our podcasts like Continuous Improvement, that's another one that I do, or The Bearded Vegans, that's another one that I do. Or you can check out the lesser podcasts, such as The Unwind, that's one that Sean, Josiah, and Rob do. And there's another cool one called Kiss the Crest. That's another one that Rob, Sean, and one of our other strange friends do about soccer. So yeah, please check those out, and thank you. Make sure to subscribe and leave us a comment. And I love you. 19.
17.
8.
25.
Natural 25?
There is no natural when it comes to skill checks.
You've solved this riddle.
Without any seismic activity, slithering down the roads, grass, and dirt begins giant cracks in the earth, splitting underneath everything in its path and splintering off like a chasmal hydra and heading in all directions. Accompanied by the serpentine schisms is a crashing wave of screams that exponentially rise until the town's ambience is full on panic. So Ezzir, Sherlock, and Talon all manage to right themselves without any sort of problems. Thaddeus, the idiot he is, cranes his neck as he watches a crack go right below his feet and somersaults onto the ground. So, cracks in the ground, let's re-roll initiative.
Oh, I am hot tonight. 23. 22, sorry.
10.
12.
3.
Just so we feel comfortable, I'm going to attack the fissures.
No, you gotta take the dodge every single time.
That's what this whole thing is dodging the cracks for like 10 minutes.
Alright, so, Sherlock, amongst the bustle of flailing arms and blurry travelers, stands a stationary man in the middle of the road. Oh, for the love of Talos! He's cursing at himself. My foot's stuck!
Oh, boy. I suppose I was going to say, I don't think I can fix this with my crossbow.
Chop it off.
I'm going to... So I have the birds are in the pack.
Yep.
I got one crossbow in one hand and the magnifying glass in the other hand. And I'm going to... How far away is he?
He's right, he's 5 feet away.
Oh,
he's
okay.
he's next to you as you're running.
Oh, jeez Louise. I'm going to take out my... Well, I already have the magnifying glass out. I'm going to look at his foot and see if there's enough room for me to wedge one of my daggers into the fissure and try to pry his foot out.
Okay, go ahead.
And do what?
Do an investigative check on the ground.
Oh, that's another natural.
Just a 20.
So it's a 24.
All right, you're able to count every single grain of rock in the ground and see that it's actually... What's a really crappy rock?
Granite?
It's not that crappy.
Pumice?
Mica.
Yeah, Formica. Would it make sense for the ground to be Formica? Whatever it is.
That's what you said, a crappy rock.
Yeah, the ground around him appears to be Formica, and it can be chipped away instead of wedged.
Right? That's the
If you'd
rock
like.
that you can, shave off.
Yeah.
Right?
But
you're gonna
I
use
just
your
don't know
night
if the
shift
ground will be made of Formica.
Yeah, exactly. This world can be whatever you want, man.
I'm like that's. I don't know if I still have the actions, but that's what I'm going to try.
Okay, you can try that next time around as we go to. Like a salmon trying to run upstream, Ezzir, you are fighting against a current of scared travelers. One such, looking the wrong way and holding an armful of goods, crashes right into you. He bounces off and continues running the opposite direction. At your foot is a very familiar-looking police hat. Stop it, that man! He took my hat! You see Riley, the town's milliner and hat shop owner, shaking his fist angrily.
How far is the hat looter?
The man has now traveled 10 feet behind you and is taking off in the opposite direction.
Oh, no problem. 10 feet, I advance towards him.
All right, you're going to stop dead and turn around
and
try to
stop
get
him dead.
Okay.
Literally.
Yeah.
Murder
so
him in the street.
I first shout at him, stop, or I will beat the shit out of you. I don't got time to play. I'm not playing.
As you're shouting and waving, the crowd of people has grown, and it's now impossible to pick out where the man has gone in the sea of people. It's too chaotic to possibly pick him out. You do, however, see another hat 10 feet behind you.
I pick up the hat.
All right, you're going to walk towards the hat. You pick up the hat and find another hat 15 feet. It's a breadcrumb of hats, it appears.
Yeah, so I try to pick up these hats.
All right,
and,
you follow the trail of hats. Talon, everyone's screaming. That's a given. But you hear an unnaturally garbled scream, like someone is gasping for air and drowning, but there isn't a body of water around you. You look to your left to see a door frame and a person occupying it. Or maybe the door frame is occupying the person. You can't really tell. The man is so fat, he takes up the entire opening. Oh, help!
The door frame's still part of the building, right? It's
Yeah.
not like a crumbled building. or anything.
Blow it up.
A door frame in the middle of the.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he got stuck in the building, crumbled around him. Can I just like run and drop kick him through the building?
Okay,
Or through the door frame?
go ahead.
Such a bad idea. What am I doing?
Strength check.
19.
You run as fast as you can and just bounce off him as you try. So as the stars spin around your head, we're going to go to Thaddeus. Thaddeus, there's little time for camaraderie as the townsfolk's fight or flight survival has kicked in, causing everyone to run in no particular direction. It looks like someone's flight hasn't been firing because two men have squared up and are circling each other, engaged in fisticuffs. A female halfling looks on in crying hysterics.
I run over to them and try to break up the fight.
Yo, back off, man. This doesn't concern you. As the shirtless younger of the two men throws a punch at the other. He said, fuck off, as the gray-haired gentleman makes a lunging uppercut. Oh, they're going to kill each other. Stop them! Shrieks the lady halfling.
Can I block both shots or something?
Yeah, you can take both of the punches if you want.
Sure, I'll do that.
While are you also talking this whole time or just standing there?
Well, I was saying, I'm gonna kick your asses if you keep doing this shit.
All right,
run and block.
Run an intimidation check.
15?
You stand there as you tell both of them to calm down. The younger man turns to you and asks, why do you care so much about this business? The older man capitalizes on this momentary dropping of the guard to land a vicious hook around you, dropping his opponent. Who daddy, take it to the stars, he chants. Then turns to you. But good question, why do you feel the need to butt into this? Unless... Oh, smoke and ashes. In fact, did you sleep with this one too? As he turns to the halfling. We will jump back too. Sherlock trying to get the freed man on the ground.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna yell, "Don't move your foot!" and then start chipping away the rock.
With your dagger, right? Yeah, how much damage does that do? Roll for damage.
6.
All right, it's beginning to chip. The ground looks bloodied. So yeah, you are chipping away. Ezzir, you are following the hats.
Following the hats as fast as possible.
So 10 feet, 20 feet, 15 feet, random increments of hats leads you into the middle of an alley behind a bar where there is a slim figure wearing a women's Gainsborough hat, those giant ones, with a lovely pink feather in it, just kind of standing there.
I tell him, that hat looks ridiculous on you. and I don't believe it belongs to you. I'll be taking that and these others back to its owner. So give me the hats.
Are you gonna go get the hats?
He's not moving to give me the hats?
No.
Then I advance towards him.
All right, you grab the figure, and the back door to the bar swings open. Hey! A bulking half-orc occupies the entire frame. What are you doing to my Tiffany Lee? You look back at the figure. The extra light being cast from the open door sheds just enough to make out the rest of her facial features. You were wrong. She's just a remarkably ugly woman. So, during this hilarious mistake, we're going to go to Talon, who gets up off the ground, dizzy from the man's flab, and stares at him. I was just eating my breakfast when I felt the earthquake and heard all the commotion. Then my entire living room split in two. And then the aftershock knocked over my hash brown, so I figured it was time to see what was going on out here. But I think my house done warped because I'm stuck.
Is there any way I could make him throw up? No. Can I... is there any way I could, like... weaken the integrity of the door frame?
You can try to smash the door, but you're going to have disadvantage to not hit the man. Without disadvantage, there's a chance you'll hit the guy.
Could I just blow his house up with the fireball again? So he didn't budge at all when I...
No.
Oh, man. I don't suppose prying him out with a quarterstaff is going to work either.
You can try to wedge some stuff in there, but
Yeah,
it runs
I
the
feel
risk
like
of
that would just be
disappearing
worse.
into his fat.
I guess I'll try to weaken the door frame.
All right, so you can either roll to hit with disadvantage and be sure to not hit Abe, but also possibly miss the door. Without disadvantage, all misses will hit the person you're trying to not hit.
I'll roll with disadvantage so I make sure I do not hit him.
Okay.
And is this the quarterstaff attack? What am I...
Yeah, you're basically performing a melee attack against the door.
10?
10 hits the door, actually. It's fine.
Nice.
So it gives a mighty whack to the door frame. How much damage does that do?
9?
The door is beginning to give. So as you're hacking away at the door frame, we'll go all the way to Thaddeus, who is in the middle of a couple's dispute. So grabbing his ear and rocking back and forth on the ground is the downed younger man. As the couple's squabble continues, his eyes narrow as he puts his hand out.
In what way? Like to bring him up?
Oh no, he just puts his hand out like a clenched open palm at the man who you are currently standing in front of.
Look, this isn't the time to fight. Did you see the explosion?
He doesn't care and shoots a frozen ice blast right in the face of the older man. He stumbles back trying to chip away his icicle face hugger. The younger man hops to his feet and gets back into his fighting stance. So,
Okay.
Out of the 1930s fisticuffs style.
nope, we're gonna go. So as you try to figure out what the hell to do there, we're gonna go to Sherlock.
All right. While I'm chipping away, I'm gonna say, "What's your name, friend?"
My name's Excudo. I traveled 20 hours to be here.
Well, you certainly came on an exciting day. All right, I'm still chipping away.
Okay.
For
Roll
damage?
again. Yeah.
Hills, yeah, 7.
All right. He is freed from the ground. Oh, thank you, kind sir.
Go be merry and tell all of the wondrous Sherlock Gnomes.
Ezzir has just grabbed a woman, assuming it was the robbing hat man.
Yep. So I say, what was her name? Petunia?
Tiffany Lee.
Tiffany Lee. Where did I get Petunia from?
That's Porky Pig's girlfriend.
I say, thank you. I was trying to escort her back to this place because it's not safe to be on the streets. There are hat thieves lurking in the area.
Is that why your hand's on her shoulder?
I was, yes. Yes. It's a helping hand on her shoulder. I'll be away now that you're here.
He draws out a scimitar and stands in front of you. You can roll for initiative.
Whoa, so meta.
Yeah.
Initiative within initiative.
20.
All right. You'll be able to strike first against the man if you so choose.
I just ran away.
Okay. That's fine. You take off. Hey! He shouts at you as the woman behind him starts crying and runs into the bar. So that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna run away. We're gonna go to Talon. You are chipping away at the frame. Oh, get me out of the door. Oh, won't someone help poor Abe out this door? I'm just so fat and stupid and I got stuck in it. Oh, my name's Abe.
Alright, I'm gonna do the same thing with disadvantage.
Yeah.
9.
Nope. No good, as the door seems to be the same as when you started the round hitting it. So, Thaddeus. The older man manages to mightily dodge the foe's strikes even while being screened by the face of the ice until he takes one right in the kisser, opportunistically shattering the ice that was on it. The older man snarls and curls his fingers across an open palm and shouts some enchantment while raising his arm up. Spewing from the ground is a clay hand which proceeds to grapple and trap the younger man.
Oh, God, this is getting out of hand.
Literally.
Yeah.
It's getting in hand. Clay hand.
Oh, God. I am going to... is the clay hand, like, is it hardened or is it soft? Like
It seems
it's grappled him?
to still be moving and is mimicking the other guy's hand. Is mimicking the enchanter's hand.
I guess I slap his hand and then ask them why they're fighting.
Okay. You slap the man's hand away. The clay arm jostles the guy on the ground like a bobblehead. The old man takes a menacing step towards the trapped one, not even listening to you, as he slowly closes his palm into a fist, his clay servant mimicking his action as begins to squeeze his prey. From the clenching hand, the younger man manages to spit out, "Oh, what the hell, Vecna? I thought you said he didn't have any powers anymore." "No, what I said was the magic was gone." The old man, millimeters away from completely squishing his snare, freezes in his tracks and turns to the halfling. What do you mean the magic is gone?" "Oh, I mean we fizzled. We don't have nothing in common except our past. Don't you remember what we were like when we started out? Compare that to now. When's the last time you wrote me a poem or made me breakfast in bed?" "Oh, babe, you know I still love you. I've been putting long hours at the office so we could afford that trip to Candlekeep." "Oh, Maximilian," as they embrace each other and continue saying sappy ship. I don't know. I'm a DM. You think I know what people in love say to each other? So, still encased in the clay hand is the homewrecker that was completely hardened and stopped moving. But we're going to go back to Sherlock, who is now on his way again.
And before that, I say, that ex-Kudo seems like a great guy.
So, you are off. I assume you're still now running?
Yep.
So, running across all the people. Going at a noticeably slower pace than the rest of the running horde is a man with a bandana across his eyes and a white cane, which he is tapping rapidly on the ground. 5 feet in front of him is a gigantic hole from the cracking. At your running speed, you won't be able to reach him in time.
I do, however,
Have crossbows.
I have crossbows, but I do have cunning action, which lets me use dash as a bonus action.
Nice.
So does that mean I can run 3 times? Okay, so
That's
I
nothing
can
here.
move 75 feet.
Yeah, that's going to be plenty of time to get there in time.
Huzzah! And I'll say, what does the person look like?
He's got a robe on, but he has the bandana across his eyes and that white cane.
I'm going to gently... Oh, I'm very short. I can't put my hand on his shoulder. I'm going to gently tug at his robe, not threateningly, and say, "Excuse me, sir, are you aware that you're about to..." No, this wasn't the voice that I was using before. "Excuse me, sir, are you aware that you're about to fall into a big hole?"
Who's there? Who's there? He spins around, but your short stature misses the cane hitting you in the head. What's going on?
There was an earthquake, and now there's giant holes everywhere. I can lead you to safety if you need assistance.
Holy Hexter, that's what's going on?
Holy Hexter, indeed.
Thanks for the tip, stranger. Screw this. He throws off his robe to reveal beautiful webbed wings, which he unfurls, takes leap, and shoots up in the sky.
And, excuse me, sir, what's your name?
It was too late. He was already gone.
Roll for sadness. Critical hit.
Okay, so Ezzir,
Yeah.
you are hauling ass out of the
the alley.
alley.
Yeah.
As the guy may or may not be taking chase, you don't know. Fortunately, you're lost in the sea of people. It's very hard to track anyone. Audibly unavoidable is a large tiefling in robes standing on a soapbox. He is holding a holy book in one hand and shouting passages from it. Every false word that men shall speaketh, those gents shall giveth account thereof in the day of judgment. Those that rejecteth it and receiveth not mine words hath one that judgeth on one soul doomed.
Okay. I say, hey, do you know you're a tiefling?
Bahamut now commandeth all men everywhere to repent, because he appointed a day in which that judged world would be righteousness in the Sir whom that kept hath ordained.
That's great. Being that you're a tiefling, do you know this other tiefling named Alfred the Weird?
What do you think? They all know each other?
Maybe.
Racist sucker. As you say mean things, we're gonna go back to Abe, who is still in the door frame.
Yeah, so I'll try taking another whack at
All right.
the door frame.
Oh my god.
7.
No, you are hitting and nothing appears to be happening. Abe is still crying. As you're smashing away at the door, and digging your hands into the dough, attempting to find some way to fix this, you notice that Abe's knees appear to be leaking.
Leaking? Leaking what? Can I do a check to see what he's leaking?
Yeah. So do an investigative check.
Now you get a great roll.
Yeah.
18?
You put your face right into the knees. Oh, that was the bacon I put in my pockets for the trip to the door and back. So greasy. All right. Thaddeus, still encased in the clay hand, is the homewrecker.
I tell Ezzir in their embrace, release him.
The guy's completely out of it as he's making out with his wife, Vecna. The other guy still struggles in the clutches of the hand.
So I try to go over and break the clay.
Go for it.
What would it be? 6 plus 11.
All right. The hand dissolves in a puff of dirt and dust as the man gets up, brushes himself off, looks at his infidelious partner kissing her husband, and runs off in the opposite direction. Sherlock, you as you gaze up in the sky, watching the blind man fly away, you can now begin. You can turn south if you want to keep running at the.
Yes, I would like to.
Okay. About 120 feet away from the source of the smoke.
Cool.
Okay.
Good thing the guy with the lowest HP is going to get there first.
I was going to say, I wonder if you win anything for getting there first.
I hope so.
Bonus XP.
The adrenaline in Hero's Focus is surging so rapidly through all your bodies and minds that you couldn't even guess how long it's actually been since the ground fracturing ended. But you have just enough wherewithal and time to realize that there's now absolutely nothing happening besides screaming and collateral damage. Speaking of screaming, is the tiefling who Ezzir is currently engaged in conversation with.
He's just saying more.
Yes,
More
he's
scriptures?
screaming. He's screaming in your face. He is now blocking your path as you stupidly converse with him. Don't you know not to converse with street preachers?
Yes, I know. Yeah, I try to juke left and then juke right and go around him.
The preacher grabs your collar and stares you into the eyes. And I saw a most wondrous dark cave, and Bahamut satteth upon it, whose visage the plain and the earth fled hence, and thither west hath found no lodging for those folk. And I saw the dead, small and unremarkable, standeth here against Bahamut and the book of life, and the dead west judged of those things which was writ in the books according to their worketh. Can you say the same, sinner?
Whoa.
I'm gonna use my religion check to say whatever he expects of me.
To argue back?
No, I'm just gonna be. I know, right? That's how it is. It's crazy, Bahamut and the cave thing with the books. It's crazy.
All right, go ahead and do a religion check.
10.
10, he kind of looks at you and then makes a motion for your weapon as we cut back to Talon, who has just found out that Abe has had grease in his pockets while trying to destroy the door frame.
Can I use the grease and just slather it over his fat?
You can.
Is he shirtless?
No.
Okay, good.
You give the door a good once over in grease, get down in a 3-point stance, and charge. like Frank Cannonball Richards. You know the video of the guy taking the cannonball to the stomach?
Yes.
But backwards. Jabba is released from his hut and explodes back into his kitchen, which is now a mess of pots and pans. Oh, thanks, buddy, he says as he sits back down on the ground, takes a bread roll from his pocket, and dabs it on the grease on his sides.
No problem. Can I see if I can take any of the food?
You want to try to touch
I want to
Fat Man
ask.
Richard's food?
I want to ask.
You can roll a persuasion 30 to take his food. Go for it.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Thaddeus, the man is now freed. You're looking at the two people kiss, but if you want, you can continue on the direction of the smoke.
She likes to watch.
Don't fight anymore, and then I go to the smoke.
Okay. You move. It's 30. What? No, you
But I can do twice as fast.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
my speed
Right,
is 30.
30.
I can dash for 60, so I can technically go 120.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Okay.
I can also technically go 75.
Nah.
Not that it matters.
How can you go 120?
Because I can go twice as fast when not fighting in cities.
Oh, but if you're out of combat though, you aren't dashing. This is like.
Oh, yeah.
So
Same with me.
However, I mean that I don't know. This is like perfectly applied to what's going on now, though.
Just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I think your urchin background. This is the perfect use of it. So I'll let you keep on running.
Skulk very
All right. So, wait, it's Sherlock's turn again.
Yeah, I was first. Yes.
All right. So
Yeah,
you
I just
are
want to go towards smoke.
traveling along like the hero you are.
Exactly.
Back to Ezzir. The preacher's made a motion for your weapon.
I remain calm and see what he does.
He grabs your weapon, stares you dead in the eye, and the sea gave up the dead, which wast in it, and 7 hells, and delivered up the dead which were in them, and the mortals were judged according to their works. As he reaches out with your stolen weapon. Wait, which weapon do you have?
I have my staff, my darts, my hands are lethal weapons.
He grabs your hands. So he has a dart. As he stares you right in the eye, he takes the dart and slits his throat with it and falls on the ground.
All right.
Damn.
So that happened.
Put that one in the memory chamber. Lock that away.
I want to search his body for this book that he keeps referring to,
Okay.
or anything else that might identify him. Or...
Yeah, all he had on him was just the book. It's just, you can't read it. It's written in Draconic, but it looks to just be a religious text.
All right, I will take it.
Okay.
And
You steal a dead man's Bible? Going to hell?
take back. Maybe I'll be the new apostle of this crazy religion. Who knows?
You want to take his robes too?
No, I just want to take my dart back.
Yep, you
and,
can.
Start running.
All right, you take off again. Well, even though all of you know this is a terrible disaster going on, some part of you is excited right now to be back in the action.
Yeah.
Flashbacks pop off in your mind with each daring maneuver. You're actually pretty surprised to be in such a good shape. Your body's been working overtime, but you feel like you're getting your second wind, and you're not even sweating all that much. Like, no, really, you've been busting your ass, but all of a sudden you kind of feel pretty cool, then actually kind of chilly, and then suddenly absolutely frigid. But it's not a breeze from behind or a drizzle from above, it's a cold radiation from below. Your concentration is completely broken as you realize something isn't right. The world's sounds and sights snap back into focus as you divert your attention below you and realize why the town is upgraded from alarmed screaming to blood-curdling shrieking. Oozing up, or more so expanding up, from the fissures in the ground is a brown fuzz.
On the next episode of Roll to Hit.
The body count is clearly rising. Each street you turn down seems to have another unfortunate soul splayed on the ground.
Look what I did to him without even drawing a weapon. I think you guys need to drop that stolen stuff and get out of here.
A shooting pain strains through your entire body like an icicle has staked you in the heart.
Can I pull a Star Wars and find like some rope and just kind of like run through his legs and then try to trip him?
You're completely blindsided by the flat side of a pike whizzing through the air.
21.
Oh, fuck you.
What is that doing in your pants?
As you dissolve into a misty cloud,
And Talon's gone from the game.
you turn a corner and run into Ezzir.
What?
as she gives you a friendly slap on the ass before curving back down. The entire top-heavy mushroom structure is now all brown ooze as it begins to tilt back towards you.
Are we getting experience for any of this?
Oh, God, no. I mean, you would if you're doing it right, but... Oh, but you don't know the ace up my sleeve! However, remember that your weapons also do 1d4 less damage because they're tiny.
Just aim my crossbow into the hole and try to shoot the lock off and have the monkey open up the other locks, but I don't think a dog can do that.
Very greedy, if I remember. You like it
Well, I am greedy, and it also works out because everybody else apparently hates money, so
It's true. It's very
ends
true.
up being something that I use a lot.
All right, I am Sherlock Gnomes. That's the voice that I've chosen for him. I had a different voice last campaign, but that was like 2 months ago, so I forgot that voice. So
Why aren't you still talking in that voice?
Why don't you always talk in that voice?
Also, I'd like
What
to
do you
bring
think
up...
RPG stands for? Okay.
I feel like everyone should have voices. I'm just going to throw that out there. I think Ezzir... I was thinking about this. I think Ezzir should sound like Batman in The Dark Knight. And I don't know what everyone else sounds
I'm
like.
half orc, so scrollable.
So, anyways, Sherlock Gnomes. He is a rogue. He's a rogue forest gnome. He's lawful good. I guess I'll go into slightly more detail with him because this is the first time we're looking at his character sheet. He has very low hit points and armor class. His armor class is 14, and he only has 18 hit points. But luckily,
Glass cannon.
he kind of stays in the back of the fights. He has 2 hand crossbows, which he can wield because he has the crossbow expert feat. So he can shoot both of those each turn, and I wanted to kind of give him that like 1950s private eye feel, like dual wielding pistols. Pew, pew, pew. So that's Sherlock Gnomes. That doesn't have to do with Sherlock Holmes at all, but I don't know. He's surprisingly not that good of a detective, which we learned from the last episode. But he does have pretty good investigation, so in his rare moments he'll be able to investigate things. He likes to talk about himself a lot and exaggerate the truth. He is lawful good. He likes to bring criminals to justice. And his bond is that one day he will return to the detective. And they were expecting to find some sick loot, but they instead got a ring that just shoots rainbows and nothing else. And that's how I decided to end that chapter of the story.
Correction. Apparently they found some sunglasses too. And wow.
That's right. That's another even though the rainbow ring is definitely the most important part of that last episode, another important element was that Alfred, sick of Ezzir's antics,
alleged antics,
fled the company, and so he is now gone, and they've been instead joined by the witty, the wonderful, the beautiful Sherlock Gnomes. and yeah, so that was ending chapter 1 of Roll to Hit, and we have one big change to go through, moving on to chapter 2, and that is that I, Paul, your wonderful and trusted DM, will be stepping down from my DM position, and we'll be playing the role of Sherlock Gnomes, and instead we will have the wonderful, you know him, you love him, maybe you don't know him by name, but his name is David, and he was playing Alfred the Weird. He will be taking over the role as Dungeon Master for this second chapter. So let's all give David a nice warm welcome.
Yeah, David.
Notice Paul left out trustworthy in the list of attributes. We don't know what's going to happen.
Trust is earned, not given.
So before David takes over as the Dungeon Master and leads us on the beginning of this new wonderful quest, let's just go around again. If you're joining us for the first time, this would be a good point to start again. We're going to go around and reintroduce all of our characters.
Hey, this is Josiah, aka Ezzir from Roll to Hit. We want to thank everyone for listening and the great feedback and comments that we get from you. We've come a really long way since the first episode. For example, we no longer eat chips while playing, nom 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 nom. And we've invested in new equipment and software, so hopefully you've noticed a boost in the quality. We're having a lot of fun making the show for you all, and if you get value out of the show, we ask that you think about giving a little value back. One way you can do that is by going to our new Patreon at patreon.com/rolltohit. We're trying this as an experiment, and we appreciate whatever you can afford to give. If you'd rather have something you can touch and smell in exchange for your support, check out our store at shop.spreadshirt.com/thecommentist. You can get a t-shirt or a coffee mug with our newly designed podcast logo on it. And, of course, if you can't afford to give a single copper piece, we totally understand. Everyone can help out by rating us on iTunes or sharing the podcast with your friends and network. Thanks a lot for your consideration, and now the show.
Welcome back to Roll to Hit. We've been on a brief hiatus, and now we're ready to start Chapter 2 of our adventure. Last time we ended with our adventurers defeating the reanimated corpse of Karth. I guess we'll go pretty quickly so we can get started. But yeah, let's start. Let's start with Talon.
All right, Talon, son of Robius. He is a sorcerer level 3, monk level 1, half elf. What else do you want me to say? I like fireballs.
And chaos magic.
Chaos, yep. Yeah.
Recently increased in age, I believe.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I have wild magic that has some good effects, like the flumps that we had in Season 1. I also went from age 19 to 29 in an instant.
He's at the point where he definitely should have a job, and he shouldn't just be around.
And I got a new weapon at the end, which I haven't yet used, which is the Assassin's Blade of Korth. It poisons me while I use it, but basically I get to throw it, and then it just magically appears back in my hand. It does 1d4, and then a chance for some serious poison damage as well.
Cool. And you can cast Misty Step.
Yes, which I have yet to figure out what it actually does.
And invisibility.
It's a little Pokemon crossover.
Once a day.
Yeah.
Misty comes out. Step.
Star you.
So I'm Thaddeus, the paladin. I'm a level 4 paladin. I'm a half-orc urchin. Odd combination, but whatever. And basically, I'm supposed to be the tank character, even though somehow last game Alfred had the same HP as me. But I'm basically the tank. I come in and mow people down. I've got a giant two-handed sword. And
that's not what I thought you were going to say.
Well.
Yeah. For the after hours show.
And that sword was both the sword and the dagger were both loot from the first adventure.
Yep, and I actually have to use special gauntlets to wield them because it's so massive. So yeah, I like to destroy things with my massive sword.
Also, a varying expertise in Skandrone, also known as doves, and prove that he is the best detective. And a side note, he also believes that he's a part of this detectives of varying expertise in Skandrone, but he's actually not. He just thinks he is, and everyone really hates him there. He's cocky and full of himself, and he likes to, once he's in battle, he likes to shoot things with his crossbow. Just quickly again, he has sneak attack, speak with small beasts, and he's pretty dexterous, and he can use thieves' tools. So that's Sherlock Gnomes.
All right, this is Ezzir Dohillen. I am a monk, level 4 monk, also drow, so that came to be that I'm living on the surface world and chaotic good, not lawful good, so I can kill people from time to time if they
I don't know why you're looking at
egregiously evil. So yeah, chaotic good monk, and most drow are obviously evil and live underground, but as a third son, I was meant to be sacrificed to the spider goddess, and my sister helped smuggle me out of the Underdark, and I was raised by monks. So Talon and I grew up in the same monastery, and until he got 10 years older, I was supposedly his older partner in crime.
Interesting.
At the monastery.
The Swirlies will change.
I took the elemental focus when we got to level 2 or 3, whatever it was. So I do have some fire type spells that come from the studying at the monastery of the Golden Dragon.
His fortune cookie said.
The best Chinese restaurant in town.
Cool. Very nice. So that's a brief overview. If you're joining us for the first